Good afternoon, class, and welcome to your virtual course. My name is Dr. Araipur. You can call me Dr. A. You have a difficult time pronouncing my name. I had sent several emails over the course of past couple of weeks for you to explore your class. I hope you've had a chance to do so. If you haven't, basically, when you go to your home page, I put the numbers so you can follow the numbers. Number one, watch this welcoming message. I'm basically welcoming you to the course. I'm very happy to have you here. And I hope we have a great time during the semester. And it'll be a nice journey for all of us. Number two, class philosophy, course objective. We start with the class philosophy. This class is a community, and therefore we all have the same objective: to learn. Online students often feel isolated, but it is vitally important to know you're not in this alone. I would like each of you to approach your online class with a great attitude and a willingness to help one another. Many problems and questions can be resolved by asking a fellow student. I'm always here to help, but I truly believe your experience will be more fruitful if you communicate with your fellow students. Course objective. It is about the use of probability techniques, hypothesis testing, and predictive techniques to facilitate decision making. Topics include descriptive statistics, probability and sampling distribution, statistical inference, correlation, linear regression, analysis of variance, and so on. And as far as contacting me, here's the email. And I reply from Monday to Friday within 24 hours. Going back to the home page. The next one is the announcements. And I want to put this in student view, student mode. And whether you click on the announcement on the left navigation bar or here makes no difference. Takes you to the announcements. These are the announcements that on a normal basis are sent to students. So if an email sent you, most of the emails that I send are through announcements. If you miss them, you can come here and check them out. The first one was a recorded orientation. This is an old recording. Some students have already started the course. Welcome and orientation is about today's meeting. And then welcome to your virtual course. I had sent 3 emails. So that's the announcement. Going back to the home page, leaving student view. After number 3, so I'm just following the home page and the numbers, comes number 4. So what do we find under number 4? We have the syllabus, modules. Under the modules, we have the practice test, PowerPoints, solution to practice test, homework, which is done through a digital platform called My Open Math. I'm going to refer to it as MOM for short from here on. So we have the practice test solution. We have the discussion forum. Again, you can click on it here, or on the left navigation bar, you see the discussion. Exams. Student office hours, Monday through Thursday, 9 to 10 a.m. For any question, you're more than welcome to stop by. You can find it here. So that's number 4. So let's explore each and every one of them, starting with the syllabus. Again, you can click on the syllabus here or the syllabus here. By the way, the simple syllabus here is what they are coming up nowadays, but it's not perfect yet. So going back to the syllabus up here or here will take us to the same link. It's the syllabus and the Excel calendar. Let me quickly click on the Excel calendar. So as you can see, we have an assignment which is due today, Introduction to My Open Math. And then we have algebra review. The purpose of the algebra review is to make sure you're comfortable with algebra so you can see if there is a special topic that you need to concentrate on to do better. And you can review it on your own so you can do well in this course. And here's the exams. Normally, I set up the exams for Saturdays. However, the first exam is next week on July 3rd, which takes place on Wednesday. The final is on Friday, and I'm going to look at the schedule again. If possible, I will give you the exam on Saturday, but exams 2, 3, 4 are on Saturdays. So in short, every week we have an exam, 4 exams, and then the final. The top one in blue is the syllabus. Again, you can always go back to this stuff. And nowadays, the syllabi are getting larger and larger. First, I'm welcoming you to the course, and then I put them as topics. So in case it's too much, you can go to a topic of interest. Okay, for example, probably the most important topic would be the grading policy for distance. So I'm going to take a couple of minutes to go over each and every one of them pretty quickly. And again, you're more than welcome to go back to them. Here's the summer session. Here's the statistic course with the information, the student learning outcomes, which is about learning statistics. Course objective is about the use of probability techniques and so on. Objectives with more details. Here's the text, and I'm going to show you again where you can find the text when we go to MOM, My Open Math, the digital platform. You can click on the link here, or when you're in MOM, I'll show you there. It's, I think, a tad easier. Again, I'm explaining about the course name and the dates. You are already here, the Zoom meeting that you wanted. And here's the schedule that you find also under the Excel file about exams. Almost every week we have an exam. Now, one thing I want to explain about the exams, there is no proctorio exam, okay? And the due date, you will receive an email/announcement regarding the exam, which includes the information as well as passport. You can take the exam anytime you want before the due dates. All exams expire at 11:59 p.m. on their due date. And I highly recommend you start a few hours early to be on the safe side. If the exam is 2 hours and you start at 11, you have only 59 minutes, just for the sake of argument. We have meeting and important dates, technology, calculators, formula sheets. You can use a formula sheet. You can use a TI calculator. I have put a lot of free resources, and I'll show you those again when we go to MOM. These are free calculators. If you don't have a TI calculator, or you don't have access to Excel, you can use free online calculators. However, you really have to explore them, get comfortable with them. So, statology, statistic calculator for social sciences, Star Trek, and so on. Many, many, many calculators online, because I believe students shouldn't pay for anything. Tech support for my open math, for distance education, and campus. PyShop, I have a general information here, and I highly recommend you go to the website for up-to-date information. And as soon as I get more up-to-date information, I will change this information. But your best course of action, just go to their website. Now, grading policy. This is a point system. Online homework, 200 points. As far as the homework is concerned, generally speaking, you have a week to do the homework, and you really want to do it on a daily basis, because if you wait until the last day, you will not learn enough material to do well on the exam. But as long as it's done in time, you get full credit. And when you start a homework, you don't have to finish it in one setting, okay? As soon as you enter your answer, it will be registered. So you get credit for that question, and then you move on. So if you just did 2 questions and you leave and come back, you do have already the credit for those 2 questions. You move on to the 3rd question. As long as it's done before the due date, you get full credit. We have the discussion forum, 100 points. I'll show you in a moment. There are 4 exams, 1, 2, 3, each one is 100 points. Comprehensive final is 300 points. However, it's based on the previous exams, meaning you study the previous 4 exams plus the new module, and you'll do fine. This is a point system. So 90%, which means 900 points or higher, is an A. 80% means 800 to 899 is a B. 70% means 700 to 799 is a C, and so on. There is no makeup policy. You basically have a whole week to take the exam until the due date. But if something comes up which is a document acceptable by campus, you may be given that opportunity to take the exam. However, what's important? The lowest exam grade among the first 4 exams will be dropped and replaced by the final. If the final score is 80% or higher, homework and discussion board grades are both 90% or higher, and this action will result in a higher letter grade. And of course, if you fail to take any exam, it's 0 and it will not be replaced. Course late work, you really can't afford to do any work late, especially for summer. But if you do that, there's a 10% reduction. That's only for homework assignments, not the first couple of assignments, the mandatory assignment, the introduction to open math, and the algebra review that are due immediately. How much time do I need to do well in this course? I refer you to CSU LB Study 36. Here's their website. In short, it says, students need about 3 times the number of units hours per week for a 16-week semester to be successful. But this is a short-term course. Now, 3 times 4 means 12 units for a 16-week. For a short semester such as summer, minimum of 20 hours a week. Dropping policy. If students don't show up to this orientation, do not register with the publisher immediately. Miss the first assignments, any of the assignments within the first week. And of course, there are a couple of assignments that are due today. One is tomorrow and one is in 2 days. Or any of the exams. Then I have more information about financial aids, and more helpful resources. Okay. Summary steps to success. Study the PowerPoints. Do the homework before the deadline. Under the module link, watch the video lectures embedded in some homework. When you do the homework, some of them, we do have uh, videos there as well, besides my videos. Study practice test and their solution, post question in the discussion forum, send your question via Canvas, attend office hours for Q&A, take the exam. The office hours are posted here, and here's the Zoom link. You can find it also on the home page of Canvas. And the next thing I want to explain is called Netiquette for Online Learning. I'm going to leave it for you to read all of them and syllabus addendum. What I want to mention about the Netiquette is that, in short, we want to show professionalism and courtesy towards one another. We want to be very nice to our fellow students. And we want to use correct spelling and grammar. You are a college student. When you send an email, make sure you have a subject line. In subject has to be your course and section number. And then when you write them, write proper spelling with proper spelling and grammar. In short, use a positive tone. So again, that was the syllabus. You can always go back and check it out again. So I'm going to go back to the home page. The next one is modules, and under modules, we find a lot of things. So let me show you what we find under the modules. First and foremost, my OpenMath access to your online homework. It used to be that you didn't have to do that, but as of recent, you have to go to this website because through Canvas, you didn't need a course ID. But you go to this website, you put your course ID here, just copy paste it to be on the safe side. And here's the enrollment. Going back to the modules, then you register and you enter my OpenMath. So what I'm going to do, after I explain about the modules and the discussion forum, I'll show you how my OpenMath works. The next one, over here we have lectures. These are my videos, okay? Here's the latest practice test recordings. Before you take the exam, if you watch the practice test, that would be the synopsis of what you need to do well with your exam. Here's the recordings, for example, module 1, practice 1, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, all the way to the end. So that's the first thing that we have after my OpenMath. Also, right here, if you go down to this one, these are section by section lectures from 1.1 on, all the sections. So I have all the recordings that you need. Going back again, I want to show you what you find under the modules. Now, exam 1 module, which covers chapter 1, 2, 3. Exam 2 module, which covers chapters 4 and 5. Exam 3, chapters 6 and 7. Exam 4, chapters 8 and 9. Module 5, although it covers 3 chapters, but it's only like 5, 6 sections, that is part of the final. And as long as I cover the first module, the rest of them follow in the same manner. And the last one is the resources. So I'm going to cover the very first module and the resources. So exam 1 module, what do you find first? Number 1, I have this practice test. Why do I put the practice test first? Because I want you to spend about 3 to 5 minutes, read this, and see what the first module covers. You don't have to do any of it, just look at it. Then we have chapters 1, 2, 3. These are the PowerPoints. So remember what we have. We have the PowerPoints and we have lectures done on these PowerPoints. If you download these PowerPoints and you put them in slide mode, you don't see page by page. Especially when it comes to example. For example, if you download this and you put it in slide mode, you just see the example, not the solution. Then when you click down, it gives you the next line of the solution and the next one and the next one. In other words, if you want to take your time to think about the solution on your own, it gives you a chance, but you have to download it and put it in slide mode. Remember, we have the PowerPoints and we have the lectures on the PowerPoints under my YouTube channel, under the modules. So we had the practice test. We have module chapter 1 PowerPoints. Chapter 2 is the same, it's PowerPoints. Chapter 3 is the same, the PowerPoints. What is this last one? This is the solution to that practice test with details. Let me explain what's going to happen. First, you are going to look at this practice test. After you do the homework or the first section, maybe a couple of sections, then you come back here and you say, oh, okay, questions maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, I can do it. You do questions 4, the first 4 questions. So you do a few questions per day. Then you consult the solution. Please don't look up the solution first. Then consult the solution here. So you have the practice test. You have the solution to practice test. And you have the recording of that practice test. So here's the practice test. Here's the solution to practice test. And here's the recording which explains with details those solutions. It can't get any better. So the bottom line is you want to make sure a few days before the exam, you have enough time to watch all those 3 practice tests step by step to put everything together and get ready for the exam. So that's, again, the top one is my open map. The next one is where you find the PowerPoints for practice tests as well as lectures. For now, just be concerned with exam 1 module. These are all found under Canvas. All of your assignments, with the exception of a discussion forum, is done in MOM or my open map. So as I said, exam 2 modules, 3, they're all the same. I'm going to go over the last one, which would be resources. You can use formulas because the formulas are pretty involved. So you have access to the formula sheet. You can use it. But it is important to study them to see which formula is used where. So just having the formula sheet is not going to do you math. Okay? So that's the first one, formula sheet. The second one would be tables. There are a lot of tables. You can use the tables or you can use calculators, everybody. So either way is fine with me. The z-score or the z-table, they call it. And I have two different tables because this is a little bit more detailed. The t-table or the t-scores, chi-square table, so on and so forth. So the last module of Canvas has formulas, tables, and now what is this one? Information about TI calculator. I have two things here. I have first and foremost, you can find basic TI calculator commands. I have every command you need to use for statistics, but it's important to understand the concept, not just using commands to come up with the numbers. Also, I have many calculators here, online calculators again. You really have to spend some time on them and see which one works the best for you, okay? Aside from that, the very first page here, and you can try it, sometimes it works. You may be able to get an emulator for TI calculator. If it works, it looks like this, and you can use a calculator. But you have to make it work, and I've seen sometimes in the past that it really gives a hard time to the students. So you can try this. I have all the information, and hopefully it works out for you. So going back to the modules, we said the first one is for the online homework, which is through mom. The second one, the PowerPoints. The third one, exam one modules. And when we finish that, we know exactly what to do. The last one would be the resources. I'm going to go back to the homepage of Canvas. The next thing I want to look at is the discussion forum. You can click on it here, or again on the left navigation bar. If you click on the discussion forum, the very first thing is students' bios. I highly recommend you look at, if you want to write yours, look at mine as an example, and then put yours. And if you want to reply to a student, just, if you want to have encouraging words for them, that'd be fantastic. Okay. Nothing but pure respect. Okay, class. So under the discussion forum, the first one is for you. If you like to write something about yourself and learn about your fellow students. The next one, FAQ, frequently asked questions. Please read this before you send an email. For example, how do I use a math editor? When you write the discussion forum, you have to write it either with using the math editor or upload your work, but it has to be a work that can be seen, not that students have to download it. That's not acceptable. Is there a need for course ID? It used to be that we don't need it, but now I have given you the information. You can find it under the modules. Okay, so we have that. So just click on the modules and my Open Math, and it has all the information in. And again, tech support and more information. Please take a couple of minutes to do that. One of the things that happens, and it's unbelievable to me, is that students always ask for the password for the exam. As I mentioned, it will be sent to you, and you can find it under the announcements. It also explains here where to find it. Announcements with the exam title are emailed to students and have all the information, including the exam passwords. So going back to the discussion forums, these two are basically informational. As of the first one, see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those are graded. The first one, each one is worth 20 points. Okay, so what do you see here? First, you have to follow the instruction. I highly recommend you read this from A to Z so you see what's asking you. Okay, see if it's going to read that. So there are three parts. You have to write a question with details and the solution with details, and it can't be a question that somebody already has done it. So therefore, you have to read all the posts. Find a similar question online. So that one is worth 10 points. A similar question on YouTube channel or so forth, 5 points. And then your comment. And your comment has to be something that you learn. Here's an example. I put a question. I write solution. I'm showing first formulas. We're interested in finding the mean, median, mode, and so forth. So mu equals summation of x over n. I'll show you the details. The median, I'll explain how I get that. So it's not, you can't say, the calculator gave me this answer. You have to show work with details for the discussion for them to be acceptable. So that's number one. Number two, I picked up a similar question. And number three, I'm giving a comment on somebody's work. This post was about finding the z-score. They represent number of standard deviations away from the mean. A positive z-score indicates so on and so forth. So I'm explaining exactly what I learned, not just a comment, thank you so much, I learned a lot. That's not an acceptable comment. So going back to the discussion forum, the first one is student bio, the second one is frequently asked questions, and there are 5 of them. All of them are the same in a meaning, in a sense that there are 3 parts to it, to do them and get credit for it. Going back to the home page, we covered everything. So what I want to do now, I want to go over my open map. And remember, when you go to modules, the very first one here tells you how to register with my open math. When you do that, you can go to your online assignments. Everything that you do as assignments is done here, with the exception of a discussion form that is done there. When you take your exams, the exam grades will be transferred to Canvas. So I start with this mandatory assignment or introduction to my open math, because I don't want you to miss that. Then I go to algebra review. You can't miss those assignments. They must be done immediately. The next one is exams. You can expand them. You don't have to worry about them yet. When the time comes, this is where you find them. As you click on that, it will ask you for the password. I have the course description as we had it before. It's also here. What do we find here? Calendar, you can cut it shorter, make it 2 weeks, make it longer, 4 weeks. So that's the calendar. In order for you to do your homework, besides, the top one that you can find them there, you can also find them here. Notice this is due immediately. The next one is due in a couple of days. But I want to explain, look at exam one, and right before the exam, you have a bunch of homework. Of course, if you click on them, you can do them right here, but I want to explain where to find them with more details, because you can watch videos before you do them. What I want to mention is that, does this mean I should do all my homework right here because it's due here? Absolutely not. If you do that, you will be behind. So what do? Every day you do a couple of sections. If you want to do fine in this course, learn and pass. Then we have module 0, and just like Canvas, we have module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what is module 0? Module 0 is nothing but resources. So I want to take a moment to go over those resources. First and foremost, we have the text here. This is in a proper order as we can see the topics in my YouTube channel also. However, it's based on this text, which is, if you want to find it online, it's easier to go with that text because you can navigate it easy. Now, do you need this text? I don't know. It's up to you. This is more like resources, everybody. Okay, this is more like resources. However, again, where do I find my text? If you want module 0, here's the text. What comes next? It explains how to use a late pass, calendar, open math, pass through stuff. This is what I want to explain. If you want to review any of your assignments, you took the exam and you're done the next day when it expires, then you can click on your grade. Then the exam comes up and you can review it. Okay. Flow charts, formula sheets from me, from the instructor, multimedia library, free online calculators. I want to show you that there are so many online calculators here, as I mentioned it in my syllabus. Just as and you have to, if you want to use them, you have to get familiar with them. For example, if you go to the first one, I've explained here that under tools, you see the calculators. And if you scroll down, you can find what you're looking for. Maybe you're looking for the z-score calculator. Maybe you're looking for the t-score to p-value. Maybe you are looking for a critical value finder. So the point being, this is one of those calculators, and I explained this because this seems to be working better for the students. Again, I don't know, you have to check. Statistics calculator, Star Trek calculators. There are so many calculators. If you don't have a calculator of your own and you have to choose here, you have to practice to see which one works the best for you. Then instructors' resources, more videos, p-value calculators. Later on when we discuss the hypothesis testing, p-value becomes obvious as to what it is, and a lot of students may find it easier if they use a p-value calculator. What else? Many, many, many more calculators. First of all, one of them, Desmes, I have a video that explains how to use that calculator. Secondly, as you go down, we have again online stat calculator, daily schedule calculator, study schedule calculator, online stat book, so on and so forth. We have so many information here under module 0. So again, what can you find under module 0 of a mom? A lot of resources. Please take a couple of minutes to explore them. You don't need any of them, more power to you. If you need any of them, please use it. Now, I want to do my homework. What do I do after I'm done with the first couple of assignments? I'm going to show you the concept. Then I'm going to do one of the homework as an assignment to see how it works. For now, you're concerned with module 1 and module 1 only. Never mind the rest of them because everything works in the same manner. You expand module 1, you see chapters 1, 2, 3. You expand, you click on this arrow. You expand chapter 1 and you see 3 sections. You expand 1.1. What do you find underneath? First, watch these video lectures and do the homework assignments. Look at these video lectures in red. In the past, some students, they just watch those. They don't look at the PowerPoints. They don't look at any other videos. They just watch those 4. See, these are my videos. These are recommended videos. But in the past, I've seen some students, they just do the ones in red, and then they do the homework. And they do good. Same thing with 1.2. Take a look. First, watch these videos in red, and please report any broken link. If they want to watch more, they can look at mine or other recommended videos. They just go and do their homework. And the same thing repeats with every section under each module. So how do you do the homework? Well, let's look at this one. And you want to do this homework. It says enter this number. This is just to get you familiar with my open math. That's all, nothing else. So I want to put this number. I get, and the moment I click on this rectangle, it gives me math editor. Do you see that? I can use that. So this one, I just want to write 51.3576 as it's given. Exactly, no rounding. But you have to get comfortable with rounding. This one, we want to round it to the nearest hundreds. So 51.3. Notice the digits for the hundreds is 5. Next to it is 7. It goes up to 6. This one, can I divide by 0? If you recall, we can't. Division by 0 is undefined. So if you click on it, it doesn't have undefined. You have to go with D and E. Does not exist. So what happens? If I submit the question, class, it check marks. I just got my grade already for this point. So even if I leave, I'm not going to lose this point. And it is registered already. The next one, the answer to 1/3 is 0.3 bar, but let's answer it wrong, 0.5. And submit the question. Why did I answer it wrong? Take a look. It says get a similar question. So if I get a similar question, it happened to give me the same question. Now, if I answer it right, 0.3, so many of them, submit the question. Notice I got my point. So what am I trying to say? If you make a mistake, you're not going to get any point for that question. Just get a similar question. That's all. So it's easy for students to get 100%. In the past, most students did get 100% on the homework. Now, if I click on done, what happens? It check marks the first one, the second one. What does it mean? It's already given me the points and it's registered under the grade book for me. What about the rest of it? Anytime I resume before the due date, I can finish this. So that's why you don't have to do it in one setting. I can resume or I can exit. If I exit, I get the points that I already have done. Now, some of these homework questions, they also have a video there. For example, again, just to show you here, I wanted to mention that. If you for this one, I figured it's very important for a student to know rounding. So I have this one here. And by the way, the places, the ones, for example, is 3 here. For this one, 3.967. The tenths is 9 here. The hundredths is 6 here, and the thousands 7. And we want to round it to the nearest tenth, becomes 3.9, because 9 next to the 6 goes up to 10, so it becomes actually 4 or 4.0. Okay, and you can do with the next one and so forth. If you submit the question, notice it gives you a check mark with those, and that means you did get some points for them, but the rest of them are not done. The purpose of this question, I wanted to show you that as you scroll down, some of these questions, including this one, let's say I forgot rounding. If you watch the video, it will help you with the round. The next thing here, you can watch the video first if you want to do the algebra and you feel uncomfortable. Many of them, not all of them. Look, they all have videos. This one doesn't, because the one before that has it. And this is about factorials. If I do this and if I learn this question, I should have no problem with this. And that was the thing I wanted to show you. So again, look, the first question, I got half of it right, and it's registered. I can resume or I can exit. So in short, in MOM, in my open math, the very first thing I do is the introduction to MOM. The next one I do algebra review. Module 0, I spend a few minutes. Those are my resources. I get familiar with those and I use the ones I need. My course starts with module 1. That's the synopsis of MOM. Going back to the homepage of Canvas, the synopsis of what we did. Number 1, there was a welcome message. Number 2, class philosophy. Number 3, we discussed the announcements. Then we looked at the syllabus, modules, discussion forums. The only assignment in Canvas is found under the discussion forums. The first one is for student bios. The second one, frequently asked questions. Those are not graded. As of module 1, discussion forum, that has 3 parts. They are being graded. And I can find everything under the modules, including my open math. I can click on it and register with it. Then I have the PowerPoints. Then all you have to be concerned with is exam 1 module. And the very last module, which is a bunch of resources. So going back to the home page. And that's it, everybody. I wish you all the best and happy studying. Best of luck, everybody.